everybody. Another episode, Catch Not Fish. It is currently 4:30 in the morning, but I wanted to do this video for you. My previous video, which was last Friday, I believe May the 13th, 2022, I was heading in to work the night shift, and I talked about the variables of fishing. And while I was at work, I saw a lot of boats out fishing, and I include a picture of there was 4 boats parked in a spot that I normally fish, and they had a good night. And one of the variables that I don't think I never spoke on was the moon cycle, and the moon plays a part in the bite as well. And if you looked up and you saw the moon and it was like a full moon, it was just bright, it turns the fish on, makes them bite. That's one thing I want to get sharp on, as well as learning that variable. But I just know when it's a full moon, normally it makes the bite be awesome, on fire. And according to a lot of the Facebook groups I'm on, they had an awesome night, because the guys that I saw out there on the water, I saw their posts that they put, and they caught some killer trout, red drum, and a couple of black drum. And so when I got off Saturday morning, that sparked my family and I want to go out and try to catch some. And we put in at Lofton Creek. The reason why I put in Lofton Creek again was because I wanted to try to get my kids on a good bite, a good, simple, easy bite. They have them just have a good time pulling in those both ends, mudfish, catfish. And we found a few, but it was not as many as it was 2 weeks ago. Also, the kayakers, I mean, it was like 1,000 kayakers. So every time we would get the boat positioned and everything would die down, another group of kayakers would come through. And it's a pretty narrow area where I was fishing. And like I said, I got off work at 0600, got home 0700. By the time I hooked the boat up, got everything ready, we got on the water, I believe it was 0740. And then by the time we got to the spot, it was like 8 o'clock. And then we fished for about 3 hours. That put us at about 1100. And what's crazy is the heat, the sun, I mean, it was just hot. I guess it got hot. So it was a quick, good trip, and I'll include some pictures and videos of that trip.
Got me, Ada. Oh, got it, babe. Yeah. Nice. Look at this. This is exactly what I want. These are good. These are buttercat. Thank you, Jesus. These things fry up good, boy. Look, right in the corner of the mouth. See that? Mm-hmm. Remember how it is. That's good. I think that's what it was last time. I could tell by how I barely got them. Mm-hmm. Alright guys, this is the oldest living fish is what they say. Because I researched it, and they were saying there's some fish in China or something. I was like, well, let me put it like this. This is a prehistoric fish. This fish was around during the dinosaurs. You know, that the alligators was around, right?
And then I went in to work Saturday night, and it was the same deal. I actually talked to a couple of fishermen that were down at the docks, and I saw them catch their limit of trout in less than 5 minutes. And there's some spots, some points that they cast to at night, and this motivates you, just make you want to go out and because you had that fire, that passion, you just want to constantly want to go fishing. And so when I got off work yesterday morning, which was Sunday morning, I know the wife and the kids was pretty tired, so I just went on my own. But I actually had a surprise trip. And I will admit, yesterday was my first time ever catching my limit in red drum, redfish, red bass. And I have stated that I caught numerous dinks, small ones, like 16 inches, 17 inches right there. You have to throw those back. Or I have caught bigger ones, or the bulls, the 30-inch plus. And I caught 2 slot reds, so that was my limit. In the state of Florida currently, you can catch 2 red drums from 18 inches to 27 inches. And then I believe it's only 8 per vessel. So if we had 5 people in the boat and we all were catching our limit, there's going to be an issue there. Somebody's not going to be able to catch because you only can keep 8 per vessel, I believe. That's what I read or saw. Just want to make sure you check your regulations. And that's why I have the FWC, the Florida Wildlife Commission app on my phone. And a lot of times when I'm out and about on the water, I constantly pull up and look and make sure that I'm not committing a violation, because you don't want to get a ticket. That'd be pretty steep. But in the video, in the videos that you'll see me fighting the fish. It feels so good. I mean, that feeling that you have when you're fighting it, because you don't know what it is and you don't want to lose it. And yesterday, when I caught those 2 slot reds, I had no idea that was what I was going to catch. So that's what's so amazing about going fishing and catching fish. It's like you never know what it's going to be, because I was using dead shrimp, fresh dead shrimp. So I wasn't using live shrimp. I wasn't casting a lure or a jig. I wasn't specifically targeting them. I was just trying different spots. And I'll include pictures of the spots that I tried. And remember, 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water. So I believe I have stated that before, but that's an important variable aspect to always remember, because yes, somebody may have caught a fish out in the open, in the middle of nowhere, but as I stated, 90% of the fish are in 10% of the water. So what does that mean? That means you need to find your structure. You need to find something that will cause fish to naturally migrate to that location, to hang out on that location. Because normally fish are always on the move for bait, for eating. So if you can find the structure, normally the structure holds bait fish. And then if you can find the bait fish, the predators are on the prowl. And I did see an alligator yesterday. Yeah, it was a pretty big one. But normally when you get kind of close to them, they'll kind of go down below. And I actually believe I saw my first tailing redfish yesterday. I believe it was a tailing redfish because I was fishing the mouth of a creek, and back off in the flats, I saw the water like swirling. I could see it because it got my attention, and I was kind of like just looking, and then I saw like it was like a tail. It was like a tail. And I kept watching, and the marsh is like I could see it kind of like moving. So I believe I saw a tailing redfish. That was my first time ever seeing one in the wild, for real. I mean, you see it on TV and such. But, and last but not least, also I want to include a picture of my line after I fought the second slot red. So the bites on those reds, the rod is like this in the rod holder, and it went directly down. I mean, so it was no question about it. And using the circle hooks, basically all you do is pick the rod up and apply pressure, because the circle hooks naturally hook the fish in the corner of the mouth. So every fish I normally bring in using those circle hooks. I love circle hooks because the fish naturally hook themselves when they swim away. And I just apply pressure. And when the second slot red, when I hooked it, I felt the head shake. It's like, you can feel it. But then all of a sudden, there was nothing. It was just, I was like, but using my knowledge of what I know on fishing, I opened the bill and I waited like 30 seconds. And when I closed the bill and started reeling up again and applied pressure, I felt the head shake. I felt it. So I know something's up there because you can feel the head shake. But I was like, something's not right, because you can feel it's like it's tension is hung up on something. You don't want to horse it. So I don't want to because then you're going to break the line off. So what I did, I opened the bill, and this time I waited like a minute. I may even waited 2 minutes. I put the rod in the rod holder. I was looking at the line in the water. That's why I love the high visibility line that I use. I'm looking at the line in the water, and sure enough, what did I see? I saw the line in the water start moving again. So I picked the rod up and I reeled real fast, and as soon as I felt that tension again, the fight was on. I got it, because you can see the line going this way now. See, so where I was fishing and hooked up with that slot red, there was structure around, because I was fishing by the railroad trestle. So on the fish finder, and I'll show you, you can just see like a ton of debris. And what I believe is back years and years and years and years ago, that railroad trestle was like a wood trestle, and then they may have just cut the pilings down, and then they put a new steel bridge trestle across. So there's like a lot of structure and debris down there. So that's what holds the fish there. But you just gotta be careful, because there are a lot of snags. So I fought them. I got them on a boat, and knowing what I know now and researching, if you work all the time and you go fishing, you want to have success. So one variable of having the success is check your tackle. So in the picture I'm going to include, you'll see how frayed my line was. So fighting that fish and being around all that structure, that frayed my line. When you rub your line, you can feel it. It doesn't feel smooth. It's rough. So you know what you do? You cut that off and retie. Don't chance it. Because the next time you cast out there, sure enough, you'll hook up with the catch of a lifetime, and then you're going to wish you would have checked your line and changed it out. So you just want to always ensure success. So I hope you enjoy the pictures. I hope you enjoy the video that we have of us catching the fish, my family and I on Lofton Creek. And until next time, it's Catch Not Fish, off to work. All right, everyone. So I just walked out the house and I was about to leave. And when I opened the garage and walked out, see, look at the moon. Can you see how that moon looks? Can you see it move?
Yes.
That's such a big coincidence. That moon looking like that. If the tide was right, if you was on the water, man, I know for a fact the fishing will be amazing. That moon looking like that will make the fish be biting like nuts. Look at that moon. Because when you're out on the water, it's just like it's something naturally. It just makes them bite. So there you go. I was just talking about that a couple of minutes ago, and now I can give you a good example. Look how that moon